friends, I am CA Divya Bansal, and in today's webinar we will be discussing about the most sought after topic, that is Iva Bills. Before starting with the topic, if till now you have not subscribed my channel, then please do subscribe my channel and also click onto the bell button along with the subscribe button for regular GST updates. Along with it, like my Facebook page Tax Without Tears for regular infographics on GST. Now, starting with the concept of Iva Bill, first of all, let us understand what is the meaning of Iva Bill. Iva Bill is just a statutory document which must be issued in case the goods they are being moving from one place to the another. Now, they can be moved either by railways or by road or by airplane or by ship. So, whatever may be the mode of transport, in any which ways, you must fill in the Iva Bill. Now, the question is then when the Iva Bill it is to be raised? If a person is making the movement of goods from one place to the another and the consignment value is more than 50,000 for reasons like supply or reason other than supply, or when the supply it is being made by an unregistered person, then before starting the movement of goods, he must fill in Iva Bill 01. Now the question is that what do I mean by reason other than supply? Let us understand the same with an example. Say I am a Delhi based trader and I want to put up a stall in Trade Fair Pragati Maidan. Now when I will be transferring my goods from my place of business to the trade fair, then it will not be a supply because there is no consideration involvement, but it will be for the reasons other than supply. There may be many more examples like this in such cases. Now you can also generate the Iva Bill even if the value is less than 50,000. So it will totally depend on you that you want to generate Iva Bill or not. Next question is that what should be the consignment value? That is, should tax amount also be considered in the consignment value or should it not be included? If we go with the conservative view, that is totally risk-free view, then we should definitely take the tax amount also in the consignment value. So if I say in a layman term, then if the invoice value is up to rupees 50,000, then no need to fill the Iva Bill. Otherwise, you must generate the Iva Bill before starting the movement of such goods. Next is that part B of GST EWB01 can either be filled by the consignor or the consignee. So it is optional for them, but the transporter must do the same in case the consignor and consignee are not filling part B. The consignor is, in layman terms, you can say a seller. That is the person who delivers a consignment to a consignee. So a consignee is the person to whom the goods they are being delivered, or you can also call him the recipient. Next is that 50,000 limit is not applicable in only two cases. One is in case of job work. When the principal is sending his goods to the job worker and the job worker is in another state, that is, it is an interstate supply, then whatever may be the value of consignment, but the principal must generate the Iva Bill. So, consignment value, it is of no relevance in this case. Secondly, if you are sending the handicraft goods, then also Iva Bill must be generated irrespective of the consignment value. How Iva Bill it should be filed? So, this is the format of part A of Iva Bill 01, which says that first of all, you must enter the GST number of the recipient. Secondly, the place of delivery. In place of delivery, we must write the PIN code of the place of recipient. As you can see, an example also is there on the screen. Next is the invoice or the challan number. So, in case you are importing the goods, then it will be the bill of entry number, invoice or challan date, value of the goods, that is a consignment value, you can say, HSN code. As you all know that there are various slabs in case of HSN. If you are making the tax invoice, that is if your turnover is below 1.5 CR, then you need not specify the HSN code on tax invoice, but this rule doesn't apply in case of Iva Bill. In Iva Bill, if your turnover is less than equal to 5 CR, then still you must mandatorily write the 2-digit HSN code in the Iva Bill, and if it is more than 5 CR, then you must specify 4-digit HSN. So in any case, you are not exempted from writing the HSN code in the Iva Bill. In any case, you have to write it. Next is the reasons for transportation. Now reason can be a supply or export or job work or CKD, SKD. The full form is also mentioned, that is semi-knockdown form. If you are transporting the goods in semi-knockdown form or completely knockdown form, or it is a sales return, or it is for exhibitions or fairs, and so many other reasons can be there. So you need to specify the reason for the same. Next is the transport documentation number, and part B, it is the vehicle number. Next sub-rule of Rule 138 says that when the registered supplier is supplying the goods through transporter to a registered recipient, in this case, Part A of Iva Bill 01 can be filled either by the registered supplier or the registered recipient, whereas Part B, that is the vehicle number, should be filled either by the registered person, that is the registered supplier or the recipient, or the transporter. The thing to be noted down in this slide is that both the recipient and the supplier are registered. Now comes the case where the supplier is unregistered but the recipient is registered, and you have also identified your recipient, that is, you know to whom you are making the delivery, that is, the person is already identified. In this case, Part A will be filed either by registered recipient or by the transporter, and Part B will be filled by the registered recipient or the transporter. Now, if you do not know the recipient at the time of sale, at the time of transporting the goods, for example, in case of retail sales, then Part A must be filed either by the transporter or the supplier, and similarly, Part B will also be filed either by the unregistered supplier or the transporter. Now, the question to ponder upon is that how will the unregistered supplier generate the Iva Bill when he is not having his own GST number? So this is a question which needs to be clarified by the council, that how will he generate the Iva Bill in case the transporter is also not generating the same? Next concept is when the supplier is giving the goods to the transporter for further delivery to the recipient, but the distance between the transporter and the supplier is less than 10 kilometers. In this case, the supplier or the transporter may not furnish the details of conveyance in Part B of Form GST Iva Bill 01, but this is only applicable when the state or union territory of the supplier is same as that of the transporter. So in case they are of different states, then this option is not available. For example, if Mr. Amit, a consignor having the place of business in Haryana, transports the good to Kaushal, a transporter in Haryana, that is, both are situated in the same state, the distance between both these places is 15 kilometers. In this case, you must update the same in Part B of Iva Bill 01. But in the similar case, if the distance is less than 10 kilometers, say 9 kilometers, in this case, they may not update the same in Part B of Iva Bill 01. So they have the option in this case. Next is when the unregistered supplier is sending goods to the unregistered recipient, that is, both the parties, they are unregistered. In this case, it is not mandatory for both of them to file the Iva Bill. Now, once your Iva Bill it is being generated, then you will have a separate or a unique Iva Bill number which shall be communicated to all the three parties, that is the supplier, transporter and the recipient. Now, if the supplier is giving the goods to the transporter and transporter in turn is transporting those goods to the recipient, but there is a change of conveyance when the goods they are being transported from the transporter to the recipient, say for any reason, maybe because the truck broke down in between or for any mishappening or any other reason, then in that case, before transferring the goods to another conveyance, you must update the details of the conveyance in Part B of GST Iva Bill 01. Now, if in case the distance between the transporter and the recipient is less than 10 kilometers and you have to change the conveyance, then details may not be updated. That means you have the discretion or you have the option not to update the details of changed conveyance on the portal or in the Iva Bill. But again, one condition comes with this is that both the transporter state and the consignee or the recipient state must be same, that is they must be located in the same state. Then only you have this option. Otherwise you must update your state in part B of Iva Bill 01. Now, if the transporter is taking multiple consignments of different people in say one conveyance, then he must consolidate all the details and file Iva Bill 02 having the details of all the consignment which he is taking through the transport. Now, the format of GST Iva Bill 02 is that you simply need to specify all the Iva Bill numbers, that is all the individual packets Iva Bill number in the same, and you need to submit it on the portal once it is active on the portal. If the consigner and consignee has not generated the Iva Bill as mentioned earlier in our cases, then transporter can also generate the same, that is he is also having the power to generate the Iva Bill. Now comes the question that how can you actually cancel your Iva Bill? If the Iva Bill is being generated, you can cancel it within 24 hours of generation of Iva Bill. Mind my words, generation of Iva Bill. That is, you can cancel it only within 24 hours from the time you generated your Iva Bill. The Iva Bill can be cancelled only when the goods they are not transported, that you have not started the transportation of goods, or when they are transported but they are not as per the details which is being filed in Iva Bill. But if the Iva Bill it is already being verified, then you cannot cancel your Iva Bill and you must carry on with the transportation of such goods. Now you can cancel it either electronically or through facilitation center. Now validity of an Iva Bill, it is that if the distance is up to 100 kilometers, then it will be valid for 1 day, and for every next 100 kilometers, 1 additional day will be provided. For example, if the distance to be covered is 145 kilometers, then you will be getting 2 days to complete the transportation of such goods. Moving further, what is the validity of the Iva Bill? Let us understand the same with example. Say an Iva Bill it is being generated at 10 PM on 27th December and the distance to be covered is only 80 kilometers. Now till when the Iva Bill is valid? That is by 12 night in 27th December or 10 PM of 28th December 2017. Will the day end only after the 2 hours? So how will that day be computed? As per the explanation in Rule 139, each day shall be counted as 24 hours. So the Iva Bill once generated will be valid till next 10 PM of 28th December, as in my case. Now, the validity may be extended in exceptional cases by the commissioners also, but there is an exception that validity can also be increased in case you request the same from the commissioner. Now, once the details of Iva Bill it has been filled in by the supplier or the transporter, then recipient must also accept the same. So, if the recipient has two options, either to reject the same or to accept the same. But if it does not take any action within 72 hours of details given to him, then there will be deemed acceptance from the side of the recipient. That is, he will not have an option to cancel the same after 72 hours. And the concept of Iva Bill will be applicable pan-India, that is from Jammu and Kashmir till Tamil Nadu. In each and every state it will be a perfectly valid concept and shall be implemented. And as you all know that in the recent GST Council meeting which was being held via video conferencing, it was being stated that from 1st February Iva Bill will be applicable almost everywhere in each and every part of India, and the same shall be on sample basis be rolled out by mid of January. Moving further to another concept, on what all things is Iva Bill not applicable. Iva Bill it is not applicable and those goods they are being mentioned in Annexure 2 Sub-Rule 14 and Rule 138 of CGST rules. Some of the items are like the goods for the personal consumption or for household effects, or you can say the jewelry or precious or semi-precious stones. Goods which are being transported by the non-motorized conveyance, for example bullock cart or a rickshaw etc. In that case also it is not applicable, but in case the goods they are being transported through motorized conveyance, then Iva Bill will be applicable. If the goods they are being transported from the port, airport or air cargo complex to the inland container depot or air freight station, then also it is not applicable. Also, if some other goods they are being notified in the rules as per the concerned state, then it will not be applicable. And such facility of generation of Iva Bill as well as cancellation will soon be made available through SMS also. So to ease out the process for everyone, every taxpayer as well as the transporter and the recipient. Another concept is what are the documents and devices. Now the person in charge of the conveyance, for example, pilot in case of airplane, driver in case of trucks, etc., he must have the copy of Iva Bill either in physical form or in RFID device. Plus, he should also carry the tax invoice or the bill of supply or the delivery challan along with him when he is taking the goods from one place to the another. There is one more concept in Iva Bill, which is invoice reference number. Now, the registered person can fill in the details of the tax invoice on the portal, and once he fill in such details, he will obtain an IRN, that is invoice reference number. And all these details will get auto-populated into your GSTR 1. That is, once you enter all the details of your tax invoice, then automatically you will be getting an IRN, that is invoice reference number, and all the details shall also get auto-populated in your GSTR 1. So duplicacy will be avoided in this case, and IRN will be valid only for 30 days from the date of generation. Here is the format of INV01 in which you will be getting the IRN, that is invoice reference number. It is simply like the details which you fill in for the GSTR 1, that is the supplier's name, serial number of the invoice, GST number of the recipient, name, address, what kind of supply you are making, description of the goods, etc. Now comes the important concept, that is verification of the documents and the conveyance. This is basically to avoid the tax evasions which is done. Now the commissioner or any other officer which is so authorized by the commissioner will verify the Iva Bill number and the Iva Bill as well as the conveyance. Now he can do it either by RFID, that is radio frequency identification devices. Now, in case of tax evasion, then the commissioner or any other authorized officer may do the physical verification of the conveyance in which the goods are being carried. And once the inspection is being done by the proper officer, then within 24 hours of inspection, he must give the details in part A of Iva Bill 03, and the final report of the inspection must be furnished within 3 days of inspection in part B of Iva Bill 03. And here is the format of the Iva Bill 03, wherein the proper officer will fill the details like name of officer, where the inspection is being done, that is the place, time of inspection, vehicle number, Iva Bill number, etc. Brief description of the discrepancy, that why such inspection is being carried out, reason for the same. And in part B, you must write down the actual quantity of the goods, that is whatever is the actual details which you have found out, you need to mention the same, and the penalty if any applicable. Now, if already one time the verification has been done in one state, then you cannot do it again in the same state, but you can do it if you have the news of any tax evasion. Now, if the vehicle is being detained for more than 30 minutes, that is more than half an hour, then transporter should give the detail of the same in Iva Bill 04. Format of Iva Bill 04 is there on the screen, wherein you will simply write the Iva Bill number, approximate location, that where are you at present, name of the officer in charge because of which you are staying there for more than half an hour, why it is being detained, and date and time. So friends, I hope that you must have found the content useful. For further useful contents, please do subscribe my channel Tax Without Tears and like my Facebook page. Thank you.